tell you what, I'm going to borrow from the great Pittsburgh Steeler announcer this week, Myron Cope. Yoy and double yoy. And I'll immediately start with the yoy. Welcome to the ACC Syracuse Orange. What a wake-up call this was. Everybody thought that this was going to be a heck of a battle, that Clemson wouldn't be used to a crowd like this inside a dome. Well, on the third play from scrimmage, they blew that right out of the water. They just showed how much work Syracuse has to do. Heck, we made Taj Boyd look like the Heisman Trophy candidate that he is. Before they pulled him at the fourth quarter, he had thrown for nearly 500 yards, and Clemson racked up 624 yards of offense in a 49-14 destruction of Syracuse. Boy, did Syracuse look like they got a long way to go. We had two weeks to prepare for Clemson. And instead of looking like the great team that we thought we would be to give Clemson a nice battle, you know what? We look like we put pink tutus in 8 whole bakeries. Of course, pink wouldn't be such a bad color this month because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But you shouldn't put pink on in the wrong way, Orange. The thing is, this was Clemson, and in a few weeks we play Florida State. I shudder to think what's going to happen against the Seminoles, because we're going to be playing them down in Tallahassee. But what a wake-up call this was. Maybe we should have taken the blue uniforms and burned them right after the game. I hope so. I like the orange helmets, Orange. Maybe we could go back to using them when we play the Wolfpack this Saturday down in Raleigh. 'Cause you know what? We got a Raleigh after this performance. And now let's go to the double yoy, fans. The double yoy meaning Buffalo's lost to Cleveland. And not only that, for a few weeks we've lost EJ Manuel. Because, after he gained the first down, he decided not to go out of bounds. He got the helmet hit right on his knee. And, of course, right when he fell down clutching his knee, the Cleveland Browns player taunted him. Well, you know what? If I were Manuel's teammate, I would have ripped this Brown a new ass for taunting my teammate. Hell, people who do that to helpless people ought to have their ass removed. But whatever, Manuel is lost for several weeks due to an MCL sprain. So you know what that means? The quarterback with the biblical name is now the one who's going to be starting for the Bills against the Bengals. Thaddeus Lewis. Yeah, if there's anything biblical, hopefully it'll be a revelation that he becomes a pretty good quarterback. Hopefully he could do a little more than that Tool. Because you know what? It wasn't Tool time after he came in against Cleveland. He actually looked like a useless utensil. Of course, he's still just a rookie and you can give him a little bit of a mulligan. But let's hope this guy with the biblical name lives up to his name. Because you know what? It's time for us Bills fans to maybe recite part of the 23rd Psalm. Because I will tell you, Bills fans, the Lord is our shepherd. Hopefully we shall want a victory. Well, hopefully we anoint our heads with oil. Be thou we may walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Us Bills fans will fear no evil. Thy rod and thy staff will comfort us. Hopefully we'll get through this, Bills fans, and we can get through, hopefully, without a lost season. Hopefully Thaddeus will be the revelation. And I also will talk about Jadeveon Clowney. He is expected to be the #1 pick in next year's NFL draft. And this guy is probably the best defensive end in the country in college football. Or he's been one of the best to come along in a long time. Or so we think. It seems as though Mr. Clowney is taking the wimp's way out in quite a few ways this year, especially this past Saturday against Kentucky, complaining about a minor little thing and saying he doesn't want to play. Of course, I know Kentucky isn't exactly a football powerhouse. They're a basketball powerhouse, but they haven't exactly struck fear into people's hearts with their football team. Same thing with Kansas. The Jayhawks are pretty good on the court, but on the gridiron, they've been another story. But the thing is, Clowney, if you are expected to be the #1 pick in next year's draft, start acting like it. Don't make up lousy excuses like this in order not to ruin your draft stock. I know you're trying to protect your draft stock, but this is the wimp's way out, Clowney. Why don't you be a man and play once? Or how about you go to a convenience store, get yourself some Skittles, get yourself some Kit Kats, get yourself some Mars bars. 'Cause right now, you are acting like a candy ass. And let's finally end this by talking about that incident there on the New York streets that's garnered so much attention. Those gang of motorcyclists ganging up on this poor man and his family. Thing is, one of the guys there decided, I'll brake check this guy. Brakes checks right in front of this guy, and causes him to hit him. And then, they start vandalizing this guy's Land Rover. The thing is, some people thought, why didn't this guy in the Land Rover get out and check the guy? Hey, it's one guy, his wife, and a kid against 30 or 40 yutzes on motorcycles who shouldn't deserve to drive them. The thing is, what do you think they probably were going to do to this poor guy? So the thing is, he does what I probably would have done. Tries to fight his way out of there and get away. 'Cause who knows what these cyclists would have done. In the process, he ran over a couple of cyclists. One of them suffered debilitating injuries. And sadly, it looks like he's not going to walk again. The thing is, you got this guy's white girlfriend and guy's mother crying because of his injuries. Hey, I'm sorry he got hurt. Well, what was he going to do to this guy in the Land Rover? Hey, that's the price you pay for being a yutz. And of course, when they chase down the guy when he couldn't get away, they start beating on his windows. They drag him out and start kicking and punching him to where a good Samaritan stepped in to stop it. And there's reports that there were several cops in amongst this gang. Well, why didn't the cops do something? They took an oath to protect and serve. Why didn't they protect and serve this guy? Thing is, I know maybe they say, we're undercover. Sorry, you took an oath. Do your job. It's people like this motorcycle gang that give motorcyclists a bad name. And you know what else those cyclists did? Give a bad name to motorcyclists. They weren't riding Harley Davidsons. They were riding those Japanese crotch rockets. My word. Well, that's the word for this week. I'm Ken Haas. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.